Okay, Alan, you're going to show me the different carpets that you can get for a tennis court surface.
Yeah. Basically, if I hold up these 4 types of carpet and then go through them, the first one...
That's quite a thick one, isn't it?
Yeah, this is a very traditional private tennis court carpet. If you measure it from the base to the top, it's 18 millimeters.
Right.
So that's very, very standard. We find that in 95% of private tennis courts. So this is filled in with sand to the top, and the sand holds it together and stops it wearing.
So they deliberately put sand into the grass, well, or the artificial grass. Is that to hold the fibres up?
That's to hold it up, because if you don't have enough sand in, the fibres bend over. And once they're bent over, they're past redemption.
Right.
So you've got to have the technical is that the sand is within 2 millimeters of the top of the fibre.
Right.
That's the exact. A very simple way of doing that is if you stamp your foot on the court and you're leaving an imprint, you've got too much sand.
Right.
If you can't see any imprint at all, you haven't got enough sand.
Right.
So that's a layman's way of doing it. We use an engineer's gauge. So this is a very typical one. I'll just bring another one up to the camera.
Okay. Yeah.
Same sort of thing, but as you can see, it's a 15 mil instead of 18 mil.
Right.
But it's exactly the same type of carpet.
Why would you have one or the other? Is one more expensive?
The more fibre, the more expensive.
Right.
But these are actually made in England in a factory up in White, and I went up there and seen how the carpets were made. They're actually made on the same looms that make top grade Wilton carpet.
Oh,
and
right.
it's just the type of material that's different. So this is just a thicker version of that, and then another one I'll bring up.
That's a lot thinner, isn't it?
Is a lot thinner. And this is known as a 10 mil carpet, which is very common on David Lloyd leisure centres. We had a contract and went around and renovated all David Lloyd's carpet courts, and they're all 10 millimetre. So they play quite well. They're a nice carpet. Nowadays, you don't need to go towards 18 mil. 10 mil would be more than adequate.
Is that because they're tougher now, or
better quality of plastic, basically.
right?
So I wouldn't recommend 15's okay if you want to treat yourself. 18.
That looks more like a football surface.
Well,
to
the
me.
football surface is 50 mil,
Is it?
and it's
Wow.
called a 3rd generation carpet,
Right.
and that's filled with rubber and sand.
Right.
But that's purely just for football
For
and
football,
rugby.
Yeah.
The next
you've
type
got
of
one
carpet, which is a totally different construction, made on the same machines, and as you can see here, the lines are inlaid,
Right.
but that's called needle punch. We call it our Brillo pad, because if you look at the surface, it looks like a Brillo pad.
Yeah.
This is phenomenally hard wearing and an excellent surface for a private tennis court. And the reason for that is, if we come back to this requires an awful lot of maintenance. This requires minimum maintenance.
Ah, right.
So therefore, there's a major difference in the maintenance costs on them both.
The bottom one looks more. I've seen that more in an indoor centre rather than outdoors.
This isn't very common on tennis courts. It's sold as a multi-play surface for five-a-side football and also indoors. Not very popular within the tennis world, but becoming more popular because people are finding out how good it is.
And it's still okay for outdoors.
It's we have county players in our tennis club who rate this carpet very highly indeed. From a maintenance point of view, it's the only carpet that I would supply.
Right.
So, because I don't want the customer to have large maintenance costs.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. Oh, that's a big help. Thanks for that, Alan.